people think that I defend Tatum too much, and maybe naturally, you guys could tell me, because maybe naturally I just do, because I'm a Celtic fan. Of course, that's my favorite player. He's on the Celtics. Of course, I love him to death. But as I mentioned when I started my opening monologue, I said this last season at the end of last year. If the Celtics want to win a championship, it is on Jayson Tatum. It is not on Mazzulla, because everyone fucking hated Mazzulla last season. It's not on Jaylen Brown's left hand, because that was all over the internet last season. It's not on Marcus Smart, because they were clowning him for taking shots at the end of the game. It's not on any of that. It is on Jayson Tatum to be a superstar. At the same time, I understand he's in a bit of a slump right now. We're talking about 7 games now where he is not shooting well. But I also have a pretty decent track record, number 1 in the regular season, and number 2 in past pro seasons where I've seen him step up in big games. I've seen him step up in the fourth quarter. I've seen him drop 50 in game 7 against Philly. So I'm not going to sit here and overreact and be like, oh my God, Tatum's only averaging 21 so far in these playoffs. Fuck, Paul George is better than him. That's why there has to be a happy medium between the two.
You got to respect Indiana Paul George.
He was a special player, man.
He was a dog.
Nothing wrong with being Indiana Paul George. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with being OKC Paul George either. That was an amazing player, dude.
That was, honestly,
that was his best season.
I don't want to say something too controversial.
Listen, I still will say
he finished top 5 in MVP voting that year.
Yeah, I thought he was top 3. Yeah,
he was
top 3.
Yeah.
And he was better. Top 3. Wasn't he top 3 in DPOY too? Top 5 in DPOY.
It's not a bad thing to be Paul George. That was wild.
That was an easy top 10 player, but we never really put him in top 5 discussions the same way we don't right now.
I was going to say, Joel, there's also a reason why Riv would die for Paul George. I mean, he is and was an amazing basketball player.
He's also a choker.
How many first teams does Paul George have? Just out of curiosity.
Does he have 1? Does he have 1, 2?
2019.
Got to go 3 in a row. 3 in a row. If I'm not mistaken.
I think Jayson Tatum's better.
Right.
I think Jayson Tatum's better.
Okay. Let's see it then. Who is better, Paul George or Jayson Tatum? Going skill by skill, shooting, 3-point shooting.
Paul George.
Paul George. Definitely Paul George.
Easy?
A lot more.
It's not easy, but I got to give an answer, and it's Paul George.
I would comfortably go with PG, especially in the last 2 years.
Are you going to answer, Dels?
I said Tatum.
Okay. Mid-range shooting.
Damn.
Paul George.
George.
That's Paul George. I would go 3-point shooting Tatum. I would go mid-range Paul George.
Ball handling.
Paul George. He clears. Clears.
Clears is. I don't know. Tatum has one of the best bags. Tatum has one of the best bags for forwards in the game.
He does. Tatum's bag is nuts. PG's is just, it's beautiful.
It's close.
He got a mixtape to Erykah Badu.
Mm-hmm. He's cooking.
It's close.
Passing and feel for the game.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. My fault.
No, what'd you say, John?
I was going next. Passing and feel for the game.
I think this is even. I'm gonna go with Tatum.
I think Tatum's better.
Okay, I was gonna say I'm going with Tatum here also.
That's reasonable. I would probably say it's even as well. Rebounding.
Tatum.
Charity points. Defense.
Charity points.
Right now, 2024, it's Jayson Tatum.
Right now, it's Jayson Tatum because Paul George is at the back end of his prime.
Yeah, I'm talking 2019, 2018.
We're going peak Paul George?
I'm going Paul George.
All right. Peak Paul George.
Am I getting 2022 Tatum then? Am I getting peak Tatum?
Yeah. Cook.
Tatum.
Joel. This is not a hill you want to die on.
You mean NBA Finals Tatum?
You're saying peak Tatum at 26. Joel, you're saying peak Tatum was 2 years ago? He's 26. You're saying peak Tatum was 2 years ago? Joel, that's an L.
Defensively, yes. Defensively, probably. That series against KD is one of the best one-on-one performances I've seen in my life.
It was beautiful. I'm not disagreeing, but you can't say at the age of 26.
Mona Lisa.
We saw peak Tatum 2 years ago. Jesus Christ.
But Tatum he's gotten better at some things that's fallen off a little bit. That's why it's like if we're getting the absolute best version of Paul George and everything, but it's just this one version of Jayson Tatum.
That's what I thought this conversation was. I never was measuring them now.
I was not either. I was just generally in the vacuum.
Still, my answers are all the same.
Defense, I would go with Paul George.
Except defense. Slightly. No, in his prime, defense PG for sure.
Last skill, finishing and above the rim athleticism.
I think this is even.
And
that's pretty close.
This could be even, but finishing above the rim, I feel like Paul George is more aggressive in terms of finishing, being more likely to dunk the basketball, going for those posts. I feel like Tatum, we really don't see him as aggressive in that regard.
Someone's got to remind, bro, he's fucking 6'9".
Somebody got to remind him that he dunked on LeBron as a rookie.
Hey,
I'm a
And I'll be honest,
Paul George
I-
had dunked
I-
on someone too.
I was not happy with it, but even I was moved.
Well,
I was
fucking
rooting
chest
actively
bumping.
against the Celtics. In that moment, I realized, God, that was cold. That
This
was
is the
tough.
one
We have
skill.
not seen that Tatum, not
Right.
anywhere near recent.
Not as consistently. This is the one skill. It's like we're talking pre-leg injury, Paul George. 'Cause if it's pre, I'm gonna go on PG. If it's post afterwards, I'll go with Jayson Tatum probably. I believe in a vacuum. Paul George just has a more complete game. And my other question is, Tatum, yes, he feels like every single year you can pigeonhole him into the number 5 spot for MVP. He's gonna make the All NBA first team, but because of the Eastern Conference, it's still a good conference. Is the perception of Jayson Tatum elevated because the Celtics are just running through the conference? And if they were in the East, sorry, if the Celtics were in the West opposed to the East, would Tatum still be considered the player he is, or we look at him differently because the Celtics would not be winning as many games?
John, is that fair? Because the Celtics had the best record in the NBA.
You're right.
Loki by,
But-
by
This
like,
year,
what, 6 games?
no, it's not. But in previous years, like they're not making the ECF when Tatum's a rookie in the West. They're not doing it.
Of course.
No,
That's just a
hell
thought
no.
that I have.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
also
I don't
you're
know.
going
This
against
version of the
Golden
Celtics-
State.
This version of the Celtics, I think, would probably been first seed in the West too. I mean, I don't think that's a hot take.
That isn't a crazy take.
Probably.
But I understand what you're saying, though. Like, are
Probably.
we still viewing Tatum? Are we still looking at him and saying, "Oh, he has this many
Yeah,
ECF
not
appearances
just this year,
at
correct.
this age? Does he have this many Finals appearances, or just has one? But still, there's more young stars. Like, are we
You
are
guys
we
right.
putting his winning and playoff resume on a pedestal like we are if he was in the West? And no, the West is a harder conference.
If you put the
I don't know-
Mavericks
I don't
in
know if
the
that's fair.
East, they're making
Would
the
Joel
finals.
Embiid even win a playoff series if he was in the West?
Cook.
Like, are we gonna like if we do this with all the
Maybe
stars
doesn't
in
work
the
out
East? You know
like
what I mean? Like you play who you play.
Hey, Giannis
You're
won a title. Maybe he's the only real
Giannis did win a
superstar in the
title.
East, if that's the case.
Brother hasn't.
But
got
now
past
you
second
you
round
definitely
since.
take players from the West to the East, and they make deeper runs.
If you
more
put the
consistently.
Mavericks on the East, they win a title.
If
Hey,
you put
they'd
the
be the
Mavericks
same-
on the East, they probably already have a Finals appearance with Luka. I'll be honest.
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe they would be the same seed as the Knicks this year, so they'd have an easier time, an easier path to the NBA Finals.
They wouldn't beat the Celtics this year. No way.
We
No,
had the
that's a bad
conversation
matchup. No,
everywhere.
that's a bad matchup.
All right.
But 2022 with no Middleton with the Bucks. Yeah, that's a conversation. Yeah.
I know. Now, to wrap up the Tatum dialogue, one of the big questions is if you put different stars in the Boston Celtics, will they still be as good of a team? So we're going to go through NBA superstars to see would the Celtics maintain their hierarchy if you replace Jayson Tatum with a different star. First name up, Nikola Jokic.
Duh.
Easy. Just rattle off the easy names that we know
All right.
for sure we're not
Got
going to
you.
say.
To rattle off the easy names, the superstars who are proven: Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic. Then we get to maybe some controversial ones. First one up, Steph Curry.
No, I mean, yeah, keep going. They'd be just as good, if not better.
Devin Booker.
No.
They stay the same. They stay the
They
same.
would not be as good. They would not
They
be
stay
as
the
good.
same.
No, they would
No
not
way.
be the same because of the defense, but they would still be a good team.
You also got to think about fit.
They still be the best team in the league with Devin Booker.
I mean, I saw Devin
agree.
Booker on the supposed best team in the league, and they lost in round 2.
You're telling me a
I-
lineup
yeah.
with,
We also saw him as the
White,
best player in the finals.
but that lineup with Derek White, Drew Holiday, Devin Booker, Jaylen Brown, and one big. No,
Fair enough.
Somebody
Tatum
coming off the
size.
bench. What if Derek
need
White
Tatum
comes off the
size.
bench and you have Drew, D Book,
I am
Jaylen
not
Brown,
putting Derek White
Porzingis,
on
and
the
Al Horford?
shout out to Al
Derek
Horford.
White's the
Derek White's
starter.
not going to the
OD.
bench for
Derek
Al.
White's
Shout
the
out to Al,
starter.
but
he
no.
has to.
Okay, but I'm saying if Devin Booker's on the team, it's still Drew, D Book, Jaylen Brown, Porzingis, and Al Horford. How is that a bad? That's probably the best starting 5 in the NBA right now.
You need Jayson Tatum size.
I'm with you. Okay. Joel Embiid.
That'd be lit.
In
That
the
was one
playoffs
bit.
or regular
Yeah, no,
season?
they're better if they get a healthy MB. They're better.
Embiid was
Playoffs
amazing.
to regular
This
season.
was easily his best
best year.
playoff series by far.
Still has
I'm
some
with you.
stinkers in that fourth quarter. Give me Tatum.
Kawhi Leonard.
No, not at
Healthy
this point in
Kawhi.
time.
I was going to say I don't know what I'm getting with Kawhi. So
Correct.
Well, the best version of Kawhi, he was
course.
healthy for most of the regular season, and he was an All NBA player.
prime
So
Kawhi
I would
Leonard
say
repeat.
the same because Kawhi, this was one of his healthier seasons. He just didn't make it to the playoffs. But
which is what matters.
no, but
Yeah.
I'm saying in a vacuum, the way he played this year, he was an All NBA.
understand.
Unfortunately for
he was
Kawhi,
in-
there is no vacuum. He's just one player I can't do a vacuum with.
Is a 2-time NBA champion. Tatum's a 0-time NBA champion.
Come on, he's also older. Respect. Tatum has time if
He hasn't.
it were to
What's he
happen.
had he's played what 2 playoff games in the last like 3 years or some shit.
Oh God,
Or
don't get
playoff
rude
games.
now.
It's
Playing
something
about
like that.
4
Like he's
or
only played like 4 in the last 2 or 3 years because he's always
Hey,
injured.
Dells,
I
I'm
hope he
with
stays
you.
healthy.
The Celtics wouldn't be as good of
Yeah.
a team. Next name up, Jalen Brunson.
The way Jalen Brunson is playing right now, I mean,
He's amazing.
I
Jalen
can't sit here
Brunson.
and cap.
He's a superstar at this point. He's coming.
No, they're
That's
just
when you
as
put-
good, if not better.
Move JB to the 3 or the 4. Bring Al Horford into the starting lineup. Keep Derek White in. You go and you have JB now, and you can have somebody to
Drip is your
alleviate
sixth
the
man.
defensive prowess. It's gonna be all right.
So we say that with Brunson, but D Book, it just gets a side eye.
What do you
over
mean?
Devin Booker. No disrespect.
Devin Booker is the same way, but I think that right now Brunson is playing better
Better.
basketball.
So are
Also,
the
Dells,
Celtics
if you
team
have
that's
Brunson
still
on your
with
team, you're benching Derek White or Drew.
True.
Respectfully.
Okay, keep on going.
Anthony
John.
Edwards.
Anthony Edwards. Oh, he clears.
They'd be good. They would
He
still be great.
clears.
They would still
I'm
be a
with you.
great basketball team.
They'd be
Kevin
better.
Durant. Oh, sorry, Dallas. Cut you off.
Jayson Tatum.
So the Celtics would be worse.
Yeah,
Jason
that's what you're
Tatum.
saying. Better or worse? Jayson Tatum.
Okay, that's what this comes to. Okay. It's the fans, man. All right, next up, Kevin Durant.
Oh, they'd be the same, if not better.
I don't think so.
Jayson Tatum.
This is regular season, Katie. I think the Celtics would be just as good of a team.
Well, he played great in the playoffs
Actually,
too.
I'm going to refrain from
No,
that.
you're right.
I think they would
They're better
be.
in regular
They
season.
would still be great. They would be amazing. They would be amazing.
LeBron James.
They
Better.
would be amazing.
Shout out to
Better.
LeBron.
Way
Better.
better. Way better.
LeBron.
It's not even a
they would.
conversation.
They would. John, come on.
LeBron.
Respect the king.
They would. He
I'm not disrespecting the King. It's just
I know you have a tendency to
into his career.
disrespect LeBron.
bro. If
so-
LeBron,
he's my GOAT,
was on the Celtics
too.
for the past 3 seasons, they probably three-peat. They could have three-peated.
not easy.
It's LeBron.
Thank God he isn't there, though. No one needs to see the Celtics win.
next name up. We'll go with Donovan Mitchell.
Jayson Tatum.
I would say the
Yo,
same.
Prisoners,
It's
yo,
the same.
prisoners of the fucking
They
moment.
wouldn't be as good.
Donovan.
They wouldn't be as good. I'm keeping the same energy. I
Fuck
said it for
no.
Book. I'm gonna keep the same energy for Mitch.
What is
They
as
wouldn't
good?
be
He's averaging 21 a game.
I know.
Look what
I
Jayson
know.
Tatum has done for the last 4 seasons in the playoffs, my brother. Come
Donovan
on.
Mitchell was great in the playoffs too.
Has fucking Donovan Mitchell made the ECF multiple times? Has he
look
made
at
the
this.
finals?
Look
Like
at
this,
the
this
Tatum
brother's
fans
got,
always go back to
he's
them.
got these pretty first round stats, man. That shit don't move nobody.
Tatum fans always go back to this, man. It's
Listen, we
sickens me.
can't let
Winning
7
teams important.
games. Now, Joel, they're letting 7 games completely taint.
It's a
what's-
nasty 7.
No,
It's
what do you
valid.
mean?
Trust me, if this was one of your guys, I'd be sitting here doing, bro, he fucking sucks. I get it. But Tatum has a track record. That's why I'm not sitting here and tweaking.
How
over
many
it.
games did Boston win this past season? Do you know off the top of your head?
60 plus. Yeah, some shit.
So you're telling me with Donovan Mitchell, they're still not a 60-win team?
58.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's
58.
crazy. That's crazy.
Hey, I think maybe 1 or 2 games, maybe like 61 wins.
How I'm looking at this question is like, with all these players, are they still clearly the best team record-wise in the NBA?
Well, I'm my apologies. I guess I'm looking at this question
If they're
as
better.
playoffs upside type thing, like regular season over 82 game sample. You could insert these guys, and yeah, you're still winning, 50 plus, 55 plus games.
Okay, that's a great way to look at it.
No.
That's
way I
kind of
look
how
at
I've
it-
been looking at it, though. To be
Yeah.
honest with you.
I have. The way I look at it is, with this player, is Vegas still favoring you guys to win it all? That's how I'm viewing it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. That's what
Yes.
we're all. Okay. We're
Next
Oh,
name,
I mean,
Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
But then, hold on, time out.
No.
This is because the Celtics are far and away favorites to win the championship, but it's because they're in the East.
Mhm.
It's because Vegas is looking at their path and saying there's really only one team that's probably giving them a hiccup, and that's going to be the Knicks. That's
Yeah.
why they're so heavily favored. Once we get to the finals and we play Minnesota, the Thunder, whoever it is, it's going to be a toss-up. Like, that's going to be like a minus 100 series both ways.
Yeah, but you're favored to win the finals, though.
Correct, but it's more so because the path in the East is easy. Once we get the reason why we're like plus 105 is because Vegas is saying we know Boston's going to be in it. We don't know who's coming out the West right now. That's why we're favored so heavily.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you, but that's how I'm looking at it, though. Like,
So I'm thinking I want to think of this as the Celtics are in the finals. Are they now favored against that Western team? Not just the run to the finals, because
you might not be favored with Tatum.
No, you're not going to be favored Tatum. So
Maybe.
probably not. against the T-Wolves.
We got
If you see Ant-Man and
I don't
Jaden
think he will.
McDaniels,
licking my
I hate-
chops.
Licking my chops. You're lying.
yo,
You're
Jaden's
lying.
gonna lock up one of them.
You're
One thing
waking up
about
in the middle
Jayson
of the
Tatum, he
night.
gonna give you 40 against the Wolves. You've seen it. I
It's
know
gonna
you.
be a
I
big
know you remember that game, Joel.
gonna be a
I
big
know remember that
JV
OT
series.
game.
Oh shit.
That was a good game. Hey,
That was a great game.
next name up.
Healthy
Anthony
Jimmy, I'm gonna
Davis.
say yes. Anthony Davis, most definitely.
Yes,
But
Anthony Davis.
He's a 2.
Oh, okay. John Moran.
Oh, no.
No, Jayson Tatum.
2?
He might be a 2, but if that's the case, so is Tatum.
He was arguably our best player all season. Stop.
Yeah, shout out
Yeah.
to you guys. Lost in 5.
He
Okay.
was.
I'm
John
not
Moran,
gonna
Jayson
lie. 8 AD with Porzingis, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Drew.
Oh my
Did you see what he
God.
did with Rajon Rondo
Where
and
was,
Drew?
where was Anthony Davis in these fourth quarters of this Nuggets series? I would love
He
to
was
know. If he's
getting
the best,
triple
if he's the best player in the series, if he's the best player on your team, get this brother the ball and prove it.
He was
Where's Tatum
getting
been in the second
triple
half of these
teamed.
games, else?
Oh
Well,
shit.
I mean, to be
Oh,
fair, we've won
shit.
all
Oh.
of these games by like 20 plus, except for 2 of them. So
Yeah, game
not really
2,
needed.
Caleb Martin outplayed.
And low key, the 2 game we're either winning by 20 or
Hey,
losing by 20.
AD's
We
not
haven't
being
had a clutch
outplayed by
game
regular
yet.
Role players. AD's not being outplayed by role players. Sorry.
Shout,
true.
first of all, respect Derek White. Second of all,
I'm not.
we
No, I'm
haven't had
talking
any
about Caleb
clutch
Martin.
games.
Derek White's more than a role player in my heart.
Caleb
Now,
Martin had what? One
Assuming you're
game
going to be
last
moving Drew Holiday to the bench in this scenario, Trae Young to be the Celtics point guard.
No, Jayson Tatum.
No,
Okay.
they're
I
better.
agree.
with Tatum.
I think it'd be a little bit worse. That's just about all the names. We're at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 or 11 players.
What
depending on
about
whether or not you
Zion,
include
Drew?
Interesting. You surround him with a lot of shooters. That's another one though. The health kills because we saw the Pelicans season end.
Zion
because of
has
it.
not played one single playoff game. I don't want to
No.
hear it.
Hey, against the Lakers in his first taste of the playoffs, that's a 40
the-
ball.
Shout out to him.
I forgot a
Oh,
big name.
man. That
Shea.
actually, I'm gonna be honest, they would still be as good. Yes, they would be.
With
They would-
Zion.
Yeah, with Zion, they would be.
To have the last
Uh,
name, Shea Gilgeous
Shea- yeah.
Alexander.
Shay's valid.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's not
Yes.
even a question.
What about Victor Wembanyama?
Yes. Yes. Pretty comfortably,
Uh,
yes.
No,
No?
they're not going to be favored in the championship with Victor.
Would they be as good? Yeah.
No,
I don't think so.
Victor,
I don't think so.
you
yeah.
add number 2 in defensive
No,
player of
I'm
the
with
year.
you.
Brother, you're
voting.
getting rid of
True.
you're getting rid of the
Defensively,
team's best
it'd be insane.
playmaker.
But
You're getting rid of the
offensively,
team's
we lack
best
too much
playmaker.
Is
offensive
Vic a
creation.
bad passer?
Derek White could be your primary playmaker, if I'm being honest.
That's
I'm
no
bugging.
disrespect
Is
to
Vic a
Derek
bad
White.
passer?
Jason Tatum's a
please?
better playmaker than Vic, and it's pretty comfortable.
Better
for me.
initiator in the stage of the
Okay,
career.
For sure,
give me
for sure.
7. Give me a 7'4" guy that can be the best defender in the world. Can actually be a solid passer, a great
Four
scorer,
assists. Four
elite
assists.
rebounder.
Hey. But there's
You
levels
need,
of the
you
scoring.
need someone
though,
to
Drew.
initiate offense, bro. You need someone to handle the ball.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum is the primary player on this team.
We've gone all series, all postseason long, seeing it be Derek White.
No, Jason Tatum is number 1, I believe, in usage. He has the lowest turnover percentage of his playoff career so far. Highest. It's just like he's been doing this.
You know what? We got to get positive. So fair. I won't fight
His
you
pick
on
and
that.
roll points per possession is number 2 in the NBA in these playoffs. Show him some respect.
I'm gonna go with a young gun here. What about Paulo Banchero?
Jason Tatum.
Not yet. Not yet. They would still be good, but not as good.
Definitely still 50+ win teams, but just not 60 wins.
John
Yeah.
Morant.
Tatum. John said that name.
Oh, you said John Morant?
I did if you move Drew Holiday to the 6-man spot. I would say the
Mm.
Celtics would be maybe a tiny bit worse, like a 60-win team.
I
plus.
still
They could
think
just
he'd
be good as
as
with Ja.
They could be as good also. I'm
Hey,
not
John's
gonna-
won 56 games before with a much worse.
This
supporting
isn't a
cast.
knock on JT. This is a applauding of the supporting cast.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's a combination.
great
of both,
team.
Drew. It's a
it's
combination.
an
of both.
amazing team.
What about Tyrese Halliburton?
No, absolutely not. With respect to Tyrese.